Hi everyone, I'm Ken.
And I'm Julie.
And we've gone caravanning. Julie's going to be behind the camera today. And she did such a great job when we did the caravan tour that we're going to give her another go at this. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you what we brought along when we left home for this trip. Now, we put a lot of stuff in the car and in the caravan, and some of it we've used and some of it we haven't used. We're going to go through it all and we're going to tell you what we have used, what we haven't. So let's start with the car. So come this way. So there's not too much really to show you in the front of the car. We do have a UHF radio. We have used that a few times, mainly when we've been traveling with other people that we've known. We haven't had any calls from anybody we haven't, from road trains or anything, but yeah, we definitely used and been good. As you can see, the reverse camera screen on the front window, obviously we use that every time. Everything else is pretty standard in there though. In the back seat of the car, we have a basket that Julie has, and that just mainly has all her little things and bits and pieces in. I don't really know what's in there, but I'm assuming she uses it all. Road maps. So Julie keeps them on the back seat for when we're traveling along. She can have a look through different things, tell us where we're going. Used or not used, Julie?
Used.
Used. Okay. Also in the back, we have my iTech jump starter pack. JS80 from iTech World. We've used that I think 3 times, maybe 4. We've jump started our own car in Denham. I think we had a flat battery in the main street of Denham. Very good. Within 30 seconds we were going again. We've jump started another vehicle of somebody else's when we were in a caravan who had a flat battery, and we've used it to power our Starlink a couple of times. When we're in Carajini, we can run the Starlink off that for an hour and a half each time, so we've done that as well. So that's a good tip. If you need a bit of power, you want to run your Starlink for a while, we did it on that for an hour and a half. So definitely used. Drone. Definitely used my drone, as you guys would know. It sits in the back of the car there. Just in the back there, behind our back seat. Just let Julie in there every now and then to have a bit of picture. We have 2 small chairs, the 3-legged chairs, and they've been used. They are for when we have visitors come over to the caravan. We can come pull them out and they go wherever we go. The umbrella, we haven't used the umbrella, have we? No. Alright, we'll go around to the other side. I'll just pop those things back in there. The other side of the car, I have some window cleaner and stuff I leave in the back here for doing the front windows and back windows and the mirrors. So we've definitely used them. The floor mat, the ground mat for outside, not using it at the moment, we're on a concrete slab, but definitely gets used a fair bit. We keep jackets and hats in the car. Obviously again, they get used. We always carry a bottle of water, it's always in the car. That's about it for the back. Alrighty, now for the surprise package. The back of the MUX. So, first of all, we have the esky. Definitely used. We do some shopping, maybe we need to put it in there, or some drinks, cold drinks, whatever, when we're outside. Hand tools, again, maybe not used all of them, but definitely have used some. My backpack, when we go hiking, sometimes I put the drone in, sometimes just got some snacks and bits and pieces in it, but definitely used. Alright, we'll start with the screens. We have a variety of screens. I think we've used them all except for one. We're using two up. We've got two empty ones here because we are using two today. But yeah. So we have a variety, and definitely we've used them all at some point depending on what we've been doing at the time. Okay. Next in this little list, I'm just going to stack things here on the end so Julie can have a look. We use a fry pan instead of a that's packed away in there instead of the barbecue, the Weber. Mainly a space and a weight thing. So yeah, but we use the fry pan all the time. Second in this lot, fishing gear. Definitely use the fishing gear. The extension cord for our solar panel that goes around on the ground. We've used that a few times. Hose, definitely use that when we've emptied the jerry can into the car. And a tarp, which I keep. Sometimes we put it under the ground mat, other times it's been on the ground under the caravan where I've got under and have a look at different things, but just a cheap little tarp. And the front awning, the front cover off the A-frame. It's not on at the moment, but we do put it on sometimes. So next in that little lot, we always carry spare clothes. We have a change of clothes in there for me, and some costumes and stuff in case I want to have a quick swim. So, and a waterproof jacket, waterproof pants. We're doing a wet pack up. I can actually put them on, stay dry. Towels. We always carry a couple of the towels. We use them all the time, don't we? All the time. If we're going swimming, we have other beach towels inside we haven't used, but we use those ones a lot. And just a little bit of brake fluid, a couple of little odd bits and pieces in there. Everything in there has been used, including the hat. Okay. Shopping bags, definitely used. A lot. Julie, we've thrown the binoculars in there. We've used the binoculars. They normally stay in the car somewhere. And of course the first aid kit. Now we have used the first aid kit. I cut my toe one time and Julie wasn't around, and I knew if I got blood everywhere inside the van I'd be in trouble, so I sat outside and fixed myself up from the stuff in the first aid kit. So again, everything in that little container definitely used. Alright, moving on. Just a little bit of variety of different things, some cable ties, some tapes and bits and pieces. Again, I think I've used nearly everything in there except for the light that belongs on your head, air guard, sunscreen, my camera tripod. So yeah, those are definitely things we definitely have used. That belongs on my drone, not used. I think I'll just throw it in the bin, it's rubbish, hate it. Alright, in the bottom here we have the chainsaw, battery operated chainsaw. I haven't used it. I thought I would, we haven't. But we have used the vacuum cleaner, so that's just a little container of a few bits and pieces. And extra packet of cloths. These are the cloths we use all the time. What we do is we rotate them around, so Julie has new ones inside the van, and when she's used them for a while she gives them to me, and then when I've used them for a while then I use them for grease and stuff, and then we throw them in the bin. So Bunnings, they're the Bunnings pack, aren't they? $10 pack, really good. So yeah, in that little lot there, the little battery chainsaw, not used. Okay. Our bodyboards, you might have seen the broom episode, definitely been used, hoping to use them a little bit more before we leave. Alright, so moving on. Julie, come this way and we'll see if we can. So when you buy this, the MUX, it's got the extra seats in and we took them out. So it comes with this little back bit here. So in that back bit there's a few little things. My fishing rod used. The longer aerial we did use when we were out on the open roads for the UHF. Just some little knickknacks there. Tyre pressure gauge I use. And that. You might notice there we always keep a torch just inside. I actually don't think I've used it, but it's there. Another thing just sitting there is a couple of handheld UHF things. We actually haven't used them. I thought we might use them, we weren't sure, but we haven't used them at all. Alright, now for the surprise packet. This is a little box we've put in the back here to make everything level. We could sleep in the back of the car if we needed to. Those seats would pop down and that would be a big flat area because I've put this box in here. So in here, I don't know why, this is a painter's drop sheet. I don't know why I brought it. It's there. It was in the car originally, not used. Jumper leads. We haven't used the jumper leads, not used. I'm pretty sure if I was packing again I'd put them in again, but on this particular trip we haven't used. Battery charger for the drill, that's just a spare one. We have another one inside, not used. That's our broken Starlink cable. We'll be taking that home with us. I thought we might be able to put some new ends on it at some point or do something with it, so we haven't thrown it out. Socket set, haven't used our socket set. Small tomahawk axe for chopping wood. Actually haven't used that either, so. Oh, actually I did use that. I have chopped some, yeah, I have used that. Small shovel. One of those little shovels that you put together in case we got bogged, had to dig ourselves out or something. Not used. Not unhappy that that's not used. Cable ties, we have used different cable ties at different times. So, drill bits. Inside there we brought different drill bits and stuff, and I have at times had to use different things that are in there, so it's just a variety of drill bits and that. Just tucked away in the bottom there. Hey, I haven't had to use this as just a spanner set. I haven't had to pull them out to use them. Tyre repair kit, used twice. Once we had to put it in to get it fixed, but twice I've been able to use that and repair the tyres. Just some electrical wire and cables and stuff. We've not had to do any of those kind of repairs, but I did put a few little knickknacks and that in there. Over towards the back we have some bearings for the caravan. We've not had to use them. I hopefully not have to use them, but they were there if we needed. This is an air hose that goes onto my airbags, and we could pump up the tyres if we really needed to. In an emergency we could use the airbags to pump up a tyre, but we haven't used it at all. Again, little electric fittings, just a little container full of electric things. Haven't used them. Hopefully we won't. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, some little O-rings and stuff for the water taps and everything. I haven't used them. My car's service manual and stuff's hidden under the back there. We did have to put the car in for a service and put it in again at Major Motors, so that detail is in that book there. Spare pair of joggers. They're under there because I just needed to get rid of them. Haven't used them. I've got another pair. That's about it. We did do a plumbing repair and we had to buy that, and that's just completely tucked away in there. So that's about it for inside the car. We have got a tow strap in there just for cutting up some wood. Tow strap in case we were bogged and needed to pull someone else out. That's also hidden under there. So as you can see, there's a nice little variety of stuff under there that's just hidden away, tucked away. We could pull out if we really needed to in an emergency. And just while we're in the back of the car there, I just wanted to show you, if you can just pan in there, Julie, we have airbags in the car. So there's my gauge there. You can see at the moment they're down, and the bags are down. I've got 4 in one side, 5 in the other, and my switches are here. And I can pump my bags up and down from there. Now, if I had my choice to do it again, I would probably try and put the gauges in here somewhere. Very fiddly to do, but I find that I've got other stuff in there, and I've got to sort of move that aside to be able to put my head in to have a look at how much bag. Now the pump for them, let's see if I can pop that out. Yeah, there we go. I don't know, Julie, just see if you can go in there and just pan down in there, and you'll see the pump sitting in there. Yeah, that's it. So the pump sits in there. It's tucked away nicely. We've hooked into the power wire on the back of this one here, and obviously all the lines run down to under the car. And we also have manual ones on the outside of the car here. And we use them all the time. Now originally we didn't have the pump and that in, but every garage you went into, they either weren't working, weren't accurate, so in the end we ended up putting the pump in, our own pump, so we have the onboard air all the time. So that's about it for the car. Yeah, we've used nearly most things that we've brought. There are things we haven't outside, so we'll go over to the tunnel boot. So we have the tunnel boot. Just swap sides there, Julie. So, in the tunnel boot, we've used this a couple of times. It's just the battery on there for blowing the leaves and stuff away. Berry springs, a couple of places. Really, yeah, I don't know. We've used it. We have 2 sets of these, so there's 8 of them for underneath of the stabilising legs. They're good when you want to stack 3 or 4 in a row because you need a bit extra height. Ours are only small. We quite often only come down about that far. We quite often need a bit more height, so we can stack 3 or 4 of them together. Leveling ramps, one's under there right now, so we definitely use them. And also we have the wedges for behind the wheels. Hoses, we carry 2 hoses. One's obviously on the van now, that second one's here, we're not using it. And we'll carry a variety of pieces. That's for my drain out the back, and a variety of fittings. We have the filler used when we're filling the tanks up, and that's just to help me connect it when we're doing it. The stairs, a set of stairs for when I'm putting the the anti-flat bars and that on. Very good. The poles, we've really only used them a couple of times, haven't we? The poles, once from the awning on the other side to keep the sun off the side of the van, and once when we put our front awning up. We try to have minimal setup, so we tend to not, unless we're staying for 2 weeks, we don't want to put everything up. So yeah, haven't used them very much, but we have used them. Broom, of course, we've used. Okay. Screw in pegs for awnings and stuff used. Bit of a variety of things in these containers. Really, it's just about bungee cords, extra ropes, some hockey straps, tie down straps, and the hammer. So we've definitely used all them. Underneath there's one that's stuff we don't really use much. It's just really spares of the same things, some pegs, yeah, some clamps and fire starters. We do keep an extra lead So we have two power leads. One that's in there obviously being used now, and that's our spare one that sits under there. So I find these bags to be excellent. The drill, obviously we use it every time we set up for the stabiliser legs. We found these buckets particularly handy for us, so I use them to store stuff, but not only do they store stuff, but obviously we can use the bucket as well. And we have a couple of extra bits of wood under there if we needed some extra height for something. Everything pretty much there is used. We have the lantern there, only got used once, an outside lantern, probably didn't need to bring it. We haven't really used the mosquito coil much, and the battery charger we've used quite a bit, so nearly everything in there has been used at some point. Okay. On the other side of the tunnel boot, it's just our tables and chairs. They're not in there today, they're out here under the awning. So they definitely get used all the time. And on the front we have all our hoses, sullage hoses and that. And they definitely get used all the time as well. So the other thing, the Spinter Starlink normally sits on the back seat when we're travelling. It's out at the moment, so it gets used. Okay, first thing we have under the bed. So, a spare mat. Don't know why we brought it and packed it, but it's in there and we haven't used it. A clothesline, which is always in there. It's certainly used every time we pull up. Yeah, we use it a lot, and it's great. As you can see, it just packs under there beautifully. Takes up no room. Blanket. We have used the blanket a few times. Yeah, definitely used. Julie's life jacket for when we're using her blow up board. Stop. Not used. We haven't used that at all. In there we have a container, and we have two containers for spare clothes. One for me and one for Julie. We've changed the clothes over depending on where we are. The moment's just got more jumpers and things like that, but the stuff in there has been used. But yeah, one of the things I have done is brought too many clothes. 10 litre spare water. We've only recently put that in there. We'll be going up the Nullarbor soon, so we're just adding in a little bit extra water in. At the back there's an electric heater. It's not used. We thought we'd pack that. Thought it'd be a bit quieter if we had it on at night or whatever, but we've used our air conditioner when we've had to heat the van up, so that's not been used. We did have a rechargeable fan in there as well, and we hadn't used that, so we actually left that in the camp kitchen for someone else to take at back in Broome, wasn't it? At the Pistol Club there, yeah. Yeah. And it turned out our neighbour went and picked it up. Yeah. But, yeah. Hopefully they got some use out of it. We weren't using it. It was taking up room, so we got rid of it. My fold-up solar panel, definitely used, and will get used again in the next couple of days. I think 3 days time we'll be heading out to Lucky Bay for 4 days. Definitely be using the solar panels, particularly in the afternoon, get that the late sun as it's going down. They're great. Towards the back over there, we have our summer quilt. So we have a summer and a winter quilt. Julie packed them in her wisdom, and we've used them quite a bit. When we left home, we had the summer one on. We got down and it started to get colder when we were in South Australia. We put the winter one on, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah. And then as we went up through the middle and it got warm again, we went back to the summer one. And then as we come down the other side, back to the winter one again. So they definitely get used, and that's been one of the good things. As soon as we start feeling a bit of the cold, we can change the quilt over. And you notice the difference. You do notice a difference, yeah, it's been good. It's definitely one of the better things we've done. Privacy screen, it's this one's in there. This really belongs on the sidewall when we had the heat on the van. I think we've only used it once, and now it's unlikely we will use it again, so it's just been tucked under the bed there. Couple of travel bags. They're not usually there. We've just picked these up off some friends who are travelling, because we'll be getting out of the van when we get to Adelaide for a week, use up some flight credit we got there. So we didn't bring bags, and they've
loaned them.
Yeah, they've loaned them to us. So a couple of bags there,
which was great. Yeah.
What normally would be under there is Julie's blow-up paddleboard, but that's out at the moment because we will be using that in the next couple of days, and at Lucky Bay, we hope. Hope it's not too windy. And yeah, so that
so it's in the car at the moment.
It's in the car at the moment, so that got swapped around this week. So couple of heavy jackets in there. We have used the heavy jackets. I have one older one I use when we have a fire, and it doesn't matter if it gets burned or whatever. And another thicker one, I used it once, I think, maybe twice. It got a bit cold. Not for a while. That would have been back down in when we were down in South Australia before we went up through the middle. Some wine we bought to take back. As for some for presents and some for us. Our favourite winery there in Margaret River, Notting Hill Wine. So yeah, we stocked up a little bit while we were there. What else is in there, Julie? We keep all our caravan and brochures and manuals in there, as well as one thing I do keep in there also is my weights for the caravan. We had the caravan weighed with the car a couple of times before we left, just to make sure that we were going to be pretty good with the weights and stuff. And I had to get my understanding of them. I just had a hard time getting my head around them, so we made a summary sheet of the car and the caravan weights, so I at least can look like I know what I'm talking about. So sometimes we refer to that if we get a question. I have to pull that out, have a look at it. Alright, that's about it under there, isn't it? Just about covered all that. So we'll just stick that over there for the time being, and we'll sort that out in a little while. Throw that back under. So Julie's shoe drawer. That just has Julie's shoes in there. Mine normally just stay outside. Different shoes for different things, haven't we? We got joggers, we got thongs yeah. and also hiking shoes. So
yeah.
All have been used. So I have 3 pairs outside. I just throw mine in a bucket and throw them in the back of the car when we're going somewhere. In the clothes department, I packed too many clothes. I had too many shirts and too many shorts. We really didn't need all them. Tend to wear 2 or 3 sets of clothing. You wear it, wash it, and yeah, really too many clothes. So I would cut down on that. The rest of it's just like personal things, jackets and stuff like that.
Bags and jumpers.
Yeah, hats, stuff like that, and our personal stuff in the side drawers. Around here, really not much. There's nothing in there really. Our battery management system and the Starlink, so nothing in there. Coming around, Julie just keeps maps and stuff like that. When we go to the visitor centres and pick up brochures and stuff like that, we probably need to thin it out, but we use them. We sit there at night. Julie will sit there at night and go through everything. Julie's the big planner. I usually will do work on the computer, editing videos or something, and Julie will sit there and look at all the stuff. So in that way we make a great team. The hot water system's under the other side of there, so there's really nothing else under there. Cupboard under the table, just my laptop. Plug my laptop in to charge it. There's a little inverter for running our Starlink. We haven't used it very often, but we do use it. We used it at Caravanning and we'll be using it at Lucky Bay as well. So yeah, and we keep a couple of DVDs for whenever we do have no reception or we can't do anything. We can always, and we have used them, haven't we? And swapped them.
And you swap them.
And swap them in the caravan park for some more. So it's a good tip to just throw a couple of DVDs in if you've got a TV that has a DVD player. Okay. This will be my last little section. So, under the lounge on this side. So we have the hydraulic bottle jack. It's in there because it's quite heavy, and it's over the axle there, and it's not really a problem. The rest is a printer which we've used 3 or 4 times. It's a very lightweight printer. We can print off our phones or the computers, and we have used that. It's been good, hasn't it? Yep. It's very small, it's not very big. Little USB fans. We won't be using them anymore, that's why it's been put away in there. But when we're in the top end, particularly in Broome and that, they were great. They were sat on the little bedside table beside the bed, plugged in, and they're only, you know, a foot, 8 inches off your face. They were great. And the rest is just some cords and stuff we're not using. I don't know why we have a bike cover. We didn't bring the bikes. We left them at home for weight reasons. So I think the bikes were 60 kilo with the rack. And so that was 60 kilo that we didn't have. So we left them at home. So the bike rack, the bike cover, I don't know how it got in there, but it managed to stay in there. The other thing we have in there is a heat gun. We did need to do a repair, and we did have to go home at the very start of the trip after 2 weeks, and I picked up that heat gun to do the repair, and so we've been stuck with it ever since. So it's light, it's just sitting under there out of the way. The other thing we have in there, and that's just in my dirty clothes drawer, is a donger, just in case at night I've had to go out in the dark and
play some baseball.
Play some baseball, yeah. It's just in the socks, I don't rattle around in there, but yeah, I haven't had to use it. We've had a pretty good time. All right. My Bluetooth headphones, they just get used all the time. Either I'm doing video editing and playing music over and over and over and over again, and that would be bugging Julie, or even just watching television, or yeah, they get used, and they just hang on the light there, and they're great. That's about it for my bit. So yeah, if Julie passes the camera over to me, I'll try and do my best. And here we go.
And hello, here we go.
Alrighty.
Camera shy Julie. So in this cupboard we have a toaster, which we have used a lot, a 2 sandwich toaster, and then there's some spare some tea bags and that, and the glasses, plastic glasses we've used. They come in really handy. I've only got 4 of them. And in this cupboard here, this dinner set is absolutely great. It's lightweight, and that's what it looks like, and that's the make. Yeah,
so that's Corel, isn't it?
Yeah, great stuff. Very lightweight.
Melamine, yeah.
Very light, and so I've got like about 4 of each. Breakfast and dinner and lunch. This is a food cupboard where we just keep all the food, like your tea, sugar and that. And this cupboard here is 2 saucepans, containers. I've used that one a fair bit for mashed potato, and I've got the strainer, which is very, very good when you want to strain rice or vegetables. Mainly rice probably, and things like that, and pasta. And these containers have been very handy when I've made a minestrone or a spaghetti bolognese, and I do it in a big pot that I have, and then I freeze some for later. So that's spaghetti bolognese in there at the moment, so that fits in there nicely. And coming over to this cupboard is the big pot that I use if I'm making bolognese or minestrone soup, which we've done a few times. There's a speaker, which is handy. We hang it up over the bed to watch telly, so it's quieter. This is used for boiling water on the gas stove when we don't have power, like electricity, for the jug. And in this side is the toaster, and the jug is kept there. And down the back is a milk frother, which we use when we do our coffee. And that's the jug that goes up there. And in this cupboard here is all our dry goods like cereal and biscuits, and this cupboard here is got 2 fry pans, and I've used them both. Keep the bread up, loaf of bread up there, my pancake mix ingredients, porridge, and the coffee that we've had grounded for the plunger, which is kept here, a plunger. I keep that here, so that's been really good. So that works with the milk frother for coffee. And these have been handy, measuring cups and a jug for, you know, like liquid quantities, which I've used. So they just fit nicely all in there. Put them away. And then just a few bits and pieces in the front here, ice cube trays, and this drawer is some utensils for cooking, and this is where all the cutlery is. So we've basically got 4 of each. And this cupboard here is where we keep the tall bottle stuff, like I keep the oil and lemonade and just
Baileys and alcohol.
Yeah, or a bottle of wine will fit in there nicely.
Definitely used.
And in this cupboard here, just some short bottles of water. And this is the bullet, which I was going to use and haven't used it. I don't know why, I just haven't used it. But I will take it home and use it. And this box here, I keep a lot of heavier stuff like tin food, and like your pasta and rice and dry goods packaged, and like baked beans and tins. That's not full at the moment. It's pretty. That fits nicely in there with the chopping board. And then down there it is just some cleaning products and fly spray and Aerogard. That's why I keep all that food in a sealed box. Keeps it nice. And in here is just the washing powder and just some odd bits in there, like some more bottles. And coming down, there is like your cling wrap, baking paper and foil and some bags. And this is mainly where we keep our remotes and torch and bits and pieces. Ken's got extra cables in there and batteries in there.
Yep, all used, all of those except for the Uno cards.
Yep, we haven't used them. And down here is not much, it's just there's some, yep, not much in there. Just some bits.
Dustpan and broom, detergent.
Yep. Okay, so then down the end here we have some towels and tea towels. We haven't really used those beach towels much because we have some handy lightweight ones that you bought, don't we? And so this is just an extra quilt cover and a sheet. So we do have that spare linen. And in here it's just tissues and toilet paper, and I keep paper towel in there when I've got it. And in this cupboard here is just our bags that we take to the amenities. And this is mainly just toothpaste and bits and pieces like for your, which you normally have in your bathroom cabinet that you need, and just some extra stuff in there like deodorant. And down here is a carton of beer, like cans. But there's not much in there at the moment. But
definitely used the beer.
yeah, they get used. And yeah, so most of
the water containers tucked away.
And that is where I just hang a garbage bag.
We have a 10 litre water in there, so we keep that one. So at the moment we're carrying about 25 litres of water, 30 litres of drinking water.
Yeah, because I prefer to drink water like this and boil it for cups of tea, because I've been finding some of the water in some of the places is a bit scally. I don't know, like you end up with a scally thing on the top. So they say it's all right for drinking and boiling it before you drink it, but you certainly get a nicer cup of tea if you just use this.
Alrighty, that's about it, isn't it?
Yep.
Alright, so I'll just turn that round for a second. So that's it for our caravan tour today.
So most of the stuff we haven't overpacked, and mostly everything we've used.
Yeah, we do have some things. There's not too much we've wanted for either, is there?
No, the cupboards have got plenty more room to put stuff into, but I don't overfill them, so
yeah,
don't need to.
Yeah, so when we go into towns now, we're not looking to go into hardware stores or looking to buy anything, are we? We do have everything we need, and we're quite happy with what we have. So
yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. So I hope that's been helpful to somebody, and you get something out of that. That's what we packed for our trip. Obviously, what your trip is will depend on what you need. If you're going to be off-grid a lot more, then you're going to need some different stuff to us. But we mainly stay in caravan parks, and we like our electricity and water.
Yeah.
So, we'll wrap it up at that, and we'll leave it at that. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Cheerio.
Cheerio.